देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you in today's session. So we shall continue our discussion from third canto, 25th chapter, the glories of devotional service. So in this, we have seen till text 22. So in this section of the chapter, up till now, we began with Shaunak Muni's eagerness to hear Krishna Katha, and he asking Srila Sutta Goswami to go on describing the glories of Lord Kapila. So then we see that Sutta Goswami in turn, he started speaking, continuing about Maitreya Vidur Samvada, where we see that Maitreya was also similarly instigated, inspired by Vidura. So then the events after Kardama's departure, they are described, and how Mother Devahuti, finally she was with Kapila Muni, her son, and she wanted to inquire from him and get the enlightenment. So her questions were discussed in text 6 to 11, uh, especially her question about the means of deliverance, mokshopaya, nishreyasa. How can we achieve nishreyasa, the ultimate uh, perfection? So in answer to that, Kapil Muni began speaking from text 13 onwards. So he told that there are three ways, especially for moksha or nishreyasa, trividho yoga drashtavya, adhyatmika yoga. So that is jnana, bhakti, and yoga. So a generic or fundamental principle in all three yogas is the control of the mind. So that was discussed. Then how one, along with bhakti, then path of jnana and yoga, how they give you the perfection. That was discussed with the bhakti aspect. Bhakti and, I mean, mixed with bhakti, then jnana and vairagya can produce the respective results. If it is devoid of bhakti, then it won't. So that's why bhakti is considered the most auspicious path. Shiva Pantha, we talked about that. How bhakti only is the most auspicious path for Nishreyasa. So then the discussion turns to bhakti then. So how is this bhakti achieved? So sadhu sangha is considered the moola. Sadhu sangha, the association of Vaishnavas, is the root of bhakti. So that's why then we see that sadhu sangha was glorified. Uh, attachment to sadhus opens up the doors for moksha. Mokshas such as Salokya, Samipya, Sarshti. All the Vaishnavas don't desire them in that particular matter. But then who is sadhu? So that discussion came up then. Who are sadhus? So then Titikshava, Karunika, Surida, Sarvadehina. Sadhus were defined. Sadhus are those who are followers of the Shastra. Sadhus are sarala, straightforward, simple, simplicity. Sadhus are also those who are who consider other sadhus as their ornaments. Sadhu bhushana, like that. So all those qualities we discussed, tatastha lakshanas, titikshava, karunaka, and all this. And then Swarup Lakshana was described also from text 22 onwards. Mayyananyena bhavena, mayi ananyena bhavena. So अनन्य भाव से जो मेरी भक्ति करते हैं, दृढ़ भक्ति करते हैं, they're ready to give up all aspects of varnashrama or karma or all this. They are ready to even tyakta swajana bandhava. They are ready to give up their uh, near and dear ones, relatives, and all that. So that aspect was also glorified. So two more verses will discuss the Swarup Lakshana, and then finally conclusion in terms of the association leading to all those wonderful qualities. So let us discuss now further. This section will go on till text 27, and then that completes this section of Bhakti's superiority over all these jnana and yoga, this aspect. Okay. So two more verses discussing Swarupa Lakshana. Madashraya katha mrishta shrunvanti kathayanti cha tapanti vividhastapas naitan madgata chetasah. Okay. Yes, Narhari Thakur Prabhu, can you read the translation?
Yes, sorry. Your screen is little less font size. I'm
Font
opening
size.
this.
You are
Uh,
seeing on the phone?
no, I'm on laptop.
Laptop? Okay,
Yes.
fine. I have
Okay,
link.
Prabhuji. Uh, uh, Engage constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities.
Yes, thank you. So you can continue for reading for 5 verses, whenever I ask you. Okay.
Okay.
Madashraya Katha Mrishta. So, Swarup Lakshan again. These sadhus, they are, what do? Shranvanti Kathayanti cha. Shravanam Kirtanam. See, these two limbs of bhakti are considered very, very important. Shravanam Kirtanam. Usually Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam also, but still Smaranam needs some purity of the heart. It is not that easy. See, there is some sort of general Smaranam. Whenever we are doing Shravanam also, is it that we are not remembering the Lord? Yeah, that is called as Samanya Smaranam. But the limb called Smaranam is not that. The limb called Smaranam is a proper conscious cultivation by the process of remembering Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela of the Lord. So for that, our mind or heart has to be very pure. If we don't have a pure heart, no, Smaranam is not easy. Antakarana Shuddhi. We talked about Antakaran in the last session, right? So for practicing Smaranam, Jiva Goswami says that the Antakaran Shuddhi apeksha asti. The heart should be actually pure. So what is that purity? The purity is freedom from the desire for sense enjoyment. So unless and until heart is pure like that, real practice of Smaranam is not possible. one may sort of cultivate some sort of desire for that smaranam, desire for that process. Hmm? But to practice it actually, antakaran shuddhi is needed. Then it becomes easy to practice that limb. So Shravanam and Kirtanam, they are the limbs which are very practical, which are fundamental and also very practical. So Bhagavatam glorifies these two limbs everywhere actually. Throughout Shunvanti, Kathayanti, uh, Shrotavya, Kirtitavyascha, Smartavyascha, Chitham like that. Or yeah, so many other places also, right? Bhagavatam is full of Shravanam and Kirtanam, this glorification. So the devotees, they hear, these devotees, they hear and they also glorify my kathas. How are those kathas? Madashrayaha. Those kathas have me as their shelter. Katha also has to have the purity of Krishna substance in it. Sometimes we see that katha goes completely tangential.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We're not able to hear.
Hare Krishna. I could hear. प्रभु जी आई
प्रभुजी का
थिंक
आवाज आ रहा है?
नॉट राइट. हाँ, मुझे आवाज आ रहा है प्रभु.
नहीं, प्रभुजी को आवाज आ रहा है. का आवाज आ रहा है?
प्रभु जी का आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. पॉज हो गया वीडियो. मुझे आगे.
Okay, sorry, I got disconnected. Some internet issue was there.
We heard till Mad Ashray, you were telling something about it.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu. So I was saying that the katha is said to be here as madashraya. So the katha, this noun is having adjective called madashraya. So I was saying that the katha should be sheltered in Krishna, or the katha should be rooted in Krishna. Sometimes we see that the katha may be devoid of any substance in it. It may be full of speculative lessons which are not so much based on Shastra, or sometimes some katha may be just completely some worldly stuff, some worldly data, um, and just some jokes or like that without any connection to Krishna. So that's not Madashraya Katha then. It is not qualifying this. So Katha has to have a standard. When we do Krishna Katha, it should be rooted in Shastra. It can be spoken in an interesting manner, which is relevant. But the point is the idea should not stem from speculative sort of platform. The idea should be very much profoundly based in Shastra, very clearly. So then they are mrishta, then they are delightful. Then they become very pure and nourishing. If we mix up sand in sweet rice, what will happen? It will become disgusting, right? It will become very extremely irritating because actually it is such a beautiful delicacy like kheer, like sweet rice, but then we mixed sand in it. Then it will become extremely unpalatable. So similarly, katha mrishta, mrishta can mean very pure, or it can also mean delightful. Uh, to the degree it is pure, it will be delightful. To the degree we mix impurity in it, to that degree, those kathas will not have much impact actually. They will not give nourishment to people. They will not nourish the heart of people this way. So that's why Shravanam and Kirtanam, it is said that these devotees, sadhus, they do of kathas which are madashraya. The kathas which are very much rooted in me, sheltered in me, uh, and they are pure. They are very pure. That's why they are delightful. Amrishta. Tapanti vividhas tapas naitan madgata chetasa. So then, if the devotees are having this culture of beautiful Shravanam, Kirtanam, then it is mentioned that uh, madgata chetasaha, their hearts, they're so much absorbed in me that they don't suffer this vividhas tapa. They don't suffer all these miseries of the material existence. Uh, what does that mean? It means that the miseries of material existence may be there, but then one is able to delight in Krishna consciousness and is able to tolerate. One is not so much disturbed by all those, right? It is mentioned about Brajavasis also like that in the 10th canto, that they were so much absorbed in Krishna Leela that even though so many obstacles came, so many demons came, right? By Krishna's Leela Shakti in Vrindavan, so many demons would come. Practically every day, one demon would come when Krishna started going to pastime to herd the pastimes. So we see that, typically speaking, by the lunchtime, uh, one of the either one demon would come. Jiva Goswami says sometimes even two demons would come. Uh, and some of them even would come to Vraja, not only in the pasturing grounds, but they would come to directly Vraja, like we know that so many also came in Vraja. So the point is Madgata Chetasaha. If the devotee's thoughts, Prabhupada writes, thoughts fixed on me, if the devotee's heart is absorbed in Krishna, then we see that the stimuli of material nature, they will not so much affect. Vividhaha tapa na tapanti. All these miseries of the material existence will not cause tapa, will not cause them suffering. If this Shravanam and Kirtanam is there very nicely, this way. So this remains a very important factor in all of the sadhaka's life. What to speak of those who are aspiring for renunciation, those who are trying to be first-class renunciates. So this factor becomes extremely important of Shravanam, Kirtanam, and quality Shravanam and Kirtanam, Madashraya Katha, in that way. So to the degree we remain connected to Shastra, no, to that degree that purity will remain. And to the degree we are away from Shastra, we put at risk ourselves, we put ourselves at the risk of uh, accepting something in the name of Krishna Katha. It won't be a pure Krishna Katha, but something which is extremely diluted or deviated from the original Krishna Katha. So that's why the best way is actually to keep on studying, reading, hearing the ideas which are given by the Shastras, so that you also develop some ability to see, decipher what is what, whether this is actually spoken in Shastra or it is not spoken in Shastra. If we remain ignorant, then everybody is a scholar for us, isn't it? For an ignorant person, everybody is a scholar. So that's why if one himself keeps a very good assimilation of Shastras, then it is very easy to detect also whether a certain idea is actually spoken in the Shastra or not. So as a devotee goes ahead in his life, he should have that caliber, or he should develop that ability to be able to see that what is asar here, what is sar and what is asar, uh, in that way. If we remain perpetually ignorant and not able to understand these things, so then it may be difficult oftentimes that we may not understand what is actually a quality Krishna Katha. We can appreciate every devotee's glorification of Krishna, that is no problem. But still, it is important that the kathas also are madashraya. Uh, so direct connection to Krishna, it's very important, that aspect. Uh, Sometimes in the changing times, our focus is on what sort of hearing we are doing also may change. So we have to make sure that the purity of that katha is maintained. But that if that focus goes away, then it's like in the name of pure ghee, we may be eating some palm oil or something. Uh, so that should not happen this way. So that's why madashraya katha amrishta. The safest way is to keep in touch with Shastra, to read directly from Shastra regularly, listen, hear, read, understand those ideas, discuss those ideas in that way. So these Vaishnavas, sadhus, they are glorified also as those who are so much absorbed in these kathas that tapanti na vividhas tapa. ये बाकी ये जो ताप है त्रिविध ताप आदि, वो उनको तपाते नहीं है साधुओं को. They don't inflict any suffering on the sadhus. This is the point. Prabhupada says there are multifarious miseries in material existence, right? Trividha kleshas are there, fourfold problems are there. But a sadhu is not disturbed by such miserable conditions because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness. And thus he does not like to talk about anything but activities of the Lord. Madashraya katha, that way. Madgata chetasaha, mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of the material miseries. This way. So, to the degree we remain on that spiritual platform, to the degree we remain full with Krishna conscious thoughts and plans and services, to that degree we will not be troubled by material stimuli. To the degree the mind is empty, to that degree it will wreak havoc, isn't it? So that's what happens even in ashram. We see that if the mind is not properly engaged, then it will wreak havoc. So it's very important that we keep ourselves in that quality engagement, whether it is service, whether it is sadhana, whether it is association. The quality is very, very important. What's the quality of that association? What's the quality of that sadhana? What's the quality of that reading, hearing that we are doing? It uh, last thing would be to do it just ritualistically or mechanically, without understanding, without absorbing, without going deeper, trying to understand its deeper aspect, applications. Also, yeah, how for sincere sadhakas, these topics, how do they relate? So in such cases, if our focus remains on positive Krishna consciousness, we will not be so much disturbed by negative things of the world, no? Uh, right? Uh, it's all about focus, right? Even in material life, people, if they are focused to achieve certain goal, they are ready to tolerate, or they are able to tolerate so many tribulations. Uh, we have seen, right? The sports persons and all that. So what to speak of Krishna consciousness, where the activity is also greatly joyful. It gives a great joy. So if we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything. So in bhakti also, in ashram also, we have to see that we can look at a substantial service and which we really look forward to do. Uh, of course, we are ready to and happy to do every service in ashram, no doubt. But as somebody who is aspiring for renunciation, we also look forward uh, that a particular service, can we do it lifelong? Does it absorb us in a way that we can do it lifelong? We are happy to do it lifelong this way. So we also have to identify service in our life like that, and that keeps us, especially our mind, absorbed. After a period of time, engaging senses is very easy because uh, it's like routine work, but our mind has to be absorbed. So that's why those who take responsibilities, they grow in bhakti, because what happens is the mind gets absorbed very much. The mind remains, uh, yeah, how to expand that particular service, how to do better in that. And not only just aspect of service, but also aspect of Krishna consciousness, uh, positive attachment to Krishna, Krishna's Nam, Rupa, Guna, Lila, Seva, positive attachment to the concepts of the Shastras and desire to practice them. So that's the engagement for the mind. If it is not there, then the senses may be engaged, but one will still struggle then to have that positivity in bhakti. So that's why it's important that madgata chetasa, that chetas, that chitta has to be, mind has to be engaged nicely in Krishna consciousness. So Kapil Muni says that, my dear mother, these are the sadhus that you should aspire to take association of. Uh, please, their association is to be prayed for, because these sadhus, they will even take away all the faults in our own persona. They will take away all the faults and they will bestow these qualities on us. So he says this in the next verse. Ta ete sadhava sadhvi sarvasanga vivarjitaha sangasteshvathate prarthya sangadosha harahite. Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, my mother, oh virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachments. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteract the pernicious effect of material attachment.
Yes. So that's why Kapila is concluding here this topic of especially Vaishnava association, this and next verse. So that's why Mother Sadhvi, or saintly lady, ete sadhavaha sarvasanga vivarjita. These sadhus, they are actually free from all the attachments. Sarvasanga means they are not attached to dharma, artha, kama, moksha, nothing. They're free from all these attachment. Hmm. Dharma, artha, kama shows the material attachments, and moksha shows the, you could say, the attachment which is in transcendental realm. Uh, so they are neither hankering for dharma, artha, kama, nor for moksha. They are only hankering to please Supreme Lord. So sangaha teshu atha te prarthyah. So my dear mother, prarthyah, such an association of sadhus is to be prayed for. Is to be prayed for by you. ते प्रार्थ्यः. आपके द्वारा ऐसे संघ की प्रार्थना होनी चाहिए. Like that he is saying. Sangha dosha harahite, because such sadhus are the ones which will take away all the faults of our own personality. Sangha dosha hara. They will take away the attachments that they are that are there, their association is so influential that it will take away our faults and it will bestow on us their qualities. So both way. So that's why, yes, it's important that what kind of sadhus that we have association of. Uh, uh, if we keep ourselves in the association of serious sadhus, serious doesn't mean serious faced. Sometimes, people feel like serious means always you will see a gloomy face and, they don't laugh or they don't smile. Uh, Laughing and giggling sometimes may be considered a sign of a lack of seriousness. It doesn't have to be. Uh, One may be extremely determined laughing and giggling also in bhakti, while somebody with a gloomy face may be thinking about when can I get out of here. Uh, So there don't have to be stereotypical ideas about what is seriousness in bhakti. Seriousness in bhakti is, you can see by the activities. What kind of sadhana, what kind of service, what kind of absorption in Shravanam Kirtanam, uh, what sort of dealings are there. So one may be very jolly devotee, but then still one may be very determined in bhakti, and you can't distract such a person this way. So those devotees, Sangha dosha harahite. So actually, these sadhus, of course, are very exalted sadhus. They are not just struggling sadhakas or like that, which are spoken over here. Hmm. So, but yes, these are the qualities. That which is natural for siddha is a cultivation for sadhak. Uh, So that's why these qualities become important for us to know, because then it's a cultivation that we aspire for such qualities. So there is this aspect of Swarupa Lakshana in it, and there is aspect of also Tathastha Lakshana. So Swarupa Lakshana must be there. Tatastha Lakshana, it will come also slowly, slowly. In fact, by practice of bhakti, these qualities manifest also, right? Hmm? Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura. So, first thing we focus on is the Swarupa Lakshanam. Uh, But then one should also be aware of the Tatastha Lakshanam so that one understands that, yes, these are the qualities that Vaishnava is judged on. He is basically, he should be manifesting those qualities. So that's why it becomes also like a yardstick barometer for us to see how we are progressing. So yes, these devotees are very much to be aspired for. Their son Kapila Muni says, he advises his mother Devahuti that if she wants to be free from material attachment, Sangha dosha hara, she should increase her attachment for the sadhus or the devotees who are completely freed from all material attachment. This way. So Prabhupada connects it very nicely to the Bhagavad Gita's verse also. Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha. Hmm? That particular verse. So there also it is said jita sangha dosha. Here also it is said sangha dosha hara. So Prabhupada is connecting in that manner. Uh, This refers to one who is completely freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness. This aspect of material possessiveness, jita sangha dosha, or Mother Kunti says, akinchana gochara. This aspect of material possessiveness goes away. Akinchana, nishkinchana or akinchana, such words are used interchangeably in Shastra. And the point is, material possessiveness, that aspect goes away. Even though a devotee may be very opulent, like sometimes some grahastha devotees may be very opulent also, but they may be also having that consciousness of akinchanata, akinchana gochara. So then they are great souls, right? Hmm. So these are the sadhus, right? They are the sadhus. This way. We have to seek the association of such devotees. For this reason, Prabhupada writes very nicely, for this reason we have begun the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Just like outside world also, Prabhupada says there are mercantile, scientific, other associations, right? Everybody makes their association. If they want to progress, they want to fight for their rights, they want to make some good progress. So we see that there is association this way. So what to speak of bhakti, which is compared to uh, swimming against the flow of the river, right? So how much the association is important. So that's why Prabhupada is saying that's what is the purpose of ISKCON, that we have very quality association available for each other that way. So if there is an effort to increase the quality of this association, so then we see that it becomes very, very joyful. The association is very much Pushyanti cha ramanti cha, that aspect is there. Mat chitta matagata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So Krishna all there also, he is saying the same thing, right? He is saying also there also. Mat chitta matagata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha. There is Shravanam, there is Kirtanam, that aspect. Because the devotee is freed from all contaminated material association, he is not affected by miseries of material existence. So that madgata na tapanti vividhas tapas. Prabhupada gives a very nice example, famous example. The cat carries her kittens in the mouth, and when she kills a rat, she also carries the booty in her mouth. Thus both are carried in the mouth of the cat, but they are different in different conditions, right? Kitten being carried by the cat and a mouse or rat being carried by the cat, there is so much of the difference, right? So similarly, the miseries of material existence will come in the life of a devotee. They will also come in the life of a materialist. But the way both of them look at it, and the way Lord also has arranged, the purpose that Lord has arranged these miseries in the life of a devotee and in the life of a materialistic person is also different. And the response of devotee and materialistic person is also different. We see that, especially in the case of devotees, it is to increase the seriousness, to increase their humility, increase their seriousness. For all such purposes, Krishna arranges sometimes the miseries of the world. Although we see that he is very merciful to mostly give the token reaction, as Prabhupada would say, token reaction. So that's how. So he concludes this discussion with the next verse now, which talks about how this bhakti finally, this sadhu sangha finally helps you to go through the various stages of bhakti and finally achieve prema, prema bhakti. Satam prasangan mama virya samvedo bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha तज्जोषणादाश्वपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धा रतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति. Yes, Prabhu.
Association of pure devotees, discussion of pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such a knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then the real devotion and devotional service begin.
Yeah. So this particular association, uh, that's the whole thing. See, Vishwan Chakravarti says, what is the purpose of this verse? So this is my screen. I'm showing the commentary. Sadhu sangataha eva bhagavati manoratim vahati iti atra kramamaha. So in this way, the mind achieves the rati or bhava towards the Supreme Lord by sadhu sangha only. Sadhu sangha will lead to rati. Rati is typically bhava, and obviously bhava means it is prema is just round the corner, right? So the krama is spoken here, how we see that this various stages of bhakti they manifest then. So satam prasangat, prasanga प्रकृष्ट रूपेण संग, संतों के प्रसंग से ऐसा बोला जा रहा है. सो व्हाट इज दैट प्रसंग? इट इज नॉट जस्ट संग बट इट इज प्रसंग, प्रकृष्ट रूपेण संग. सो दैट इज द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. इन द very intense or powerful association of Vaishnavas, mama virya samvedo kathaha ritkarna rasayana bhavanti. The kathas, the talks or discussions about the Supreme Lord, they are so full of virya, they are so full of the potency. Virya samvidah. See, that's the qualifier for katha. See, when you analyze a Sanskrit text, then you have to know which one is for what, the qualifier which stands for what word. Then you will be able to do a very good analysis of everything. So, Virya Samvida here stands for this katha. Kaise kathaएं? Virya Samvid kathaएं. What does that mean? It means that the talks or discussion about the Supreme Lord, they're so full of the potency of Krishna. सम्यक वेदनम संविद, सम्यक वेदनम, वेदनम कहते हैं नॉलेज, सम्यक मीन्स परफेक्ट. So those kathas where there is perfect knowledge or perfect description of Krishna's potency to purify. So Virya Samvida basically means these kathas are surcharged with that potency. So what is the effect of that potency? Well, Ritkarna Rasayana. They will become so pleasing and so purifying that we see that those kathas will start appearing to be like a rasayan, like an elixir. They will appear like nectar. So this will happen to the degree the anarthas go away, the contamination of the heart goes away, and then the Krishna Katha starts appearing to be like nectar. So the Kathas are powerful to that degree that they purify our heart from contamination, and they start giving greater and greater taste of Shri Krishna's Nam Roop Guna Leela. You start feeling greater attraction to hear it. So that's a very good Katha. Katha meaning Katha, talk of Krishna, discussions on Krishna, general Katha. That's the meaning of Katha. So that happens by prasanga. It does not happen by just ordinary sangha. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, very nice he says. So see here. Aprakrushtat sangat bhajan kriya matram na tu katha. So he says, if the sangha is ordinary, if it is aprakrishta, prakrishta means prakarshta wala. It's an intense or it's a very special sangha. Prakarshta, prakrishta has that sense of prakarshata. What does prakarshata mean? It means intensity. So that aspect of intensity. So if the sangha, if the Vaishnava association is not very intense, one can say, so then it is bhajan kriya matram. Then what happens is, in such a sangha, There are only some activities of bhakti that go on. Bhajan kriya matram only. Natu katha. There are not very nourishing Krishna kathas over there. They're just running around here, there. That's all. Some bhajan kriya. Hmm. It is not focusing on aspects of a quality nourishment of Krishna Katha. So then in such Sangha, there may be only some basic elements of bhajan kriya are followed. That's it. One is doing some chanting, one is doing some deity worship, one is doing some arti and all that thing. It is fine. But natu katha, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, katha nahi hoti hai usme. And that to what sort of katha? Prakrishtat sangad anartha nivartika katha bhavanti. He says, if we are taking a very prakrishta sangha, if we are taking a very powerful association, then we will see that in that association, the discussions on Krishna will be anartha nivartika. They will cause the contamination of the heart to go away. It will be like that. So then those kathas will be in this way. They will be causing a great purification of the heart. We will start finding those kathas as joyful. We start looking ahead and looking forward that yes, it's not that if you hear Shastra and then your interest to hear is going away. So then it is exactly opposite kind of katha. So the other day also I was speaking, sharing Krishna Katha is actually a very big responsibility in the sense that, of course, individual's capacity and limitation also is understood. Sometimes the audience may be not a very qualified audience. Uh, it is understandable, but still, the point is this, that the Krishna Katha, it actually has to give us pushti. Tushti, pushti, kshudha paya, you know these three things. So pushti is that aspect of one feels greatly nourished in taking up greater responsibility and service and opportunities of Shravanam Kirtanam in Bhakti this way. So that pushti shows that the anarthas are going away. Tushti is happiness. Tushti means you just find it so delightful, like that. Whole Bhakti aspect is very delightful. That is tushti. But pushti means one starts seeing that the anarthas are going away. One is finding greater capacity to take up service, to take up Shravanam, Kirtanam, to take up, and that determination is going on. It's increasing. And Kshuddhapaya is very naturally that one is not hankering for sexual life, or one is not hankering for money or worldly fame or all such things. So that is anartha nivartika katha. So if the sangha is prakrishta, prasanga, then that sort of effect will happen. If it is not, then it is bhajan kriya matram, he says. Bas bhajan kriya chal rahi hai, kuch ho nahi raha zyada effect. This way. So in this way, when such prakrishta sangha happens, then further only those kathas, they produce nishtha. And in those kathas, we see that there is a proper knowledge and proper understanding of Sri Krishna's Mahatmya, Virya. So, Nishtha, it will produce, like, see, here it is Anarth Nivrutti, then it will produce Nishtha, and then it will produce Ruchi. So, this Ritkarna Rasayana, no, this stage is being, it's basically referring to Ruchi here. ऋत कर्ण रसायन, कर्ण रसायन, कर्णों के लिए अमृत बन गया वो. So Vishwanath Chakravarti, Jiva Goswami, both of them say that this word is explaining that this stage is actually Ruchi stage, because what happens on the stage of Ruchi is Krishna Katha becomes so nectarian that one just cannot live without it. Such a person never will sleep in japa. It is impossible for such a person to sleep in japa. Such a person, because why? Because it is such a great ruchi, no? Laya is gone. Laya is sleep in the chanting or sleep in kirtana or like that, this way. Similarly, there is vikshepa. So laya, vikshepa, all these so many obstacles, they at the level of nishtha, they go away. So in ruchi, you don't see them. You don't find that somebody's sleeping in spiritual activities like japa or like that way. So Ritkarna Rasayana, that aspect is showing the ruchi actually. uh. At the level of ruchi, then you see it becomes Karna Rasayana. uh. Karna Rasayana is, yeah, it is extremely delightful to hear. So if one continues like that, tad joshanad, so engaging oneself further in that by cultivation, Prabhupada says, further cultivating like that, ashu, very quickly, apavarga vartmani, on this path of attaining prema, apavarga vartmani, what all manifests then? Shraddha manifests, rati manifests, and bhakti manifests. So if Ritkarna Rasayana stage was Ruchi, then continuing that stage, cultivating it further, what will appear next is Asakti. So Shraddha means Asakti here. Hmm. This is not Shraddha meaning the first stage of Bhakti Shraddha, no. This is Asakti. And Rati means Bhava and Bhakti means Prema. Anukramishati. Very orderly, all these stages manifest. So you can see here, Vishwan Chakravarti also says, Bhagavati Shraddha. Shraddha means Asakti. Rati means Bhava. Bhakti means Prema. Anukramishati, they appear in order like that. So then this way. So he is connecting this whole Sangha aspect. It's Sadhu Sangha is such an important thing, right? Sadhu Sangha eva bhakti moolam. We talked about that. That it is actually root of the bhakti. If you have proper roots, and then you see that the tree is just going to be appearing soon. The plant will grow and it will become into tree. So the root has to be strong. If the roots are only weak, then we see the other things that the plant may not grow much. So that's how this aspect is glorified over here. So the verse is talking about what? The verse is talking about aspects like sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, and then by that the katha, ritkarna rasayana. So it shows that anartha nivrutti and nishtha is achieved, and then one is becoming developing the ruchi in the Lord's Katha. So this verse is speaking all these aspects from Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, and then Asakti, and then Bhava, and then Prema, in this way. All right. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Prabhupada was very strong on this point always, right? He considered that if somebody wants to continue in bhakti without association, he said, such a person is insane. He said he is living in hallucination. It's a lunacy to think like that. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. And this is true, right? If somebody is only studying books and such a person is not actually having a very good service or association, then we say that such a person also cannot make much advancement, because the knowledge may be there, but then the person is not able to cultivate the qualities which are possible to be cultivated only in the association, right? Association will test our qualities, like patience, like tolerance. If there is no association, we are never tested. We only may think like we are very great, but not like that. So one thing is that, first thing is that to stay in association, but then within that same association also, as we discussed, prasanga, it has to be a quality association. We don't just drag along, or we just don't coast along. No, but we are serious about making developing this positive attachment for Sri Krishna. Uh, that's the goal of life, for which we have sacrificed so much in our life. Whatever, depends on individual's background, but whatever, everybody who is come for full-time service to Krishna has sacrificed so much. Or even grahasthas, they are sacrificing so much because they are working so hard, and still they are giving so much time for Lord. So the point is, yeah, with all this sacrifice, then one remains very serious that, am I making advancement in bhakti? Why, if it's not happening, why it's not happening? Why am I not developing attraction for Sri Krishna's qualities, Sri Krishna's Leela, Sri Krishna's personality? This way. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literatures, wherein the activities of Lord are described. So yeah, non-devotees are not interested. They consider it fictional or manufactured stories, mythology, or like. Why? Because oftentimes they never get the association of devotees. We see that when they come in association of devotees, then the life changes. Till that time, the misconceptions go on. Till that time, the wrong ideas, they just continue this way. So that's why Sangha. So Prabhupada ends the discussion by talking how Kapila began. When one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open. Moksha dwaram upagatam. That's how the discussion had begun. So Prabhupada is also ending with that same point, this theme. So two more verses. Now these two more verses describe yoga and jnana coupled with bhakti. Bhakti Mishra Yoga, Bhakti Mishra Jnana. But these two verses can also be explained for bhakti. So Prabhupada does a plain translation by connecting it, basically referring to bhakti yoga only. But there is also another explanation over here, that these two verses, they refer to yoga. This verse refers to yoga, and the next verse refers to jnana, this way. So that is fine. Prabhupada sometimes when the verses are talking about jnana or yoga, he connects them to bhakti, because bhakti oftentimes includes those qualities. So he's perfectly justified in explanation like that also, this way. Because yes, if those qualities or if those concepts are there in bhakti also, so Prabhupada keeps the discussion pertaining to bhakti, because that's what is the thrust of the whole discussion, this way. So Prabhupada's expansion of these two verses is completely in devotional context. Bhaktya puman jata viraga indriyat drashta shrutat madarachana chintaya chittasya yatto grahane yoga yukto yatishyate rujabhir yoga margaihi. Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Thus,
please.
consciously engaged in the devotional service, in the association of devotees, person gains distaste for sense gratification, both in this world and in the next. By constantly thinking about the activities of the Lord, this process of Krishna consciousness is the easiest process for mystic power. When one actually situated on that path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So in this way, by this bhakti, Human Jata Viraga Indriyad. So when the person, he develops all the detachment from the sense pleasures which are drishta shruta, which are either seen in this world or they are heard about. जात विराग, विराग उत्पन्न हो गया, किसमें उत्पन्न हो गया? सो दृष्ट श्रुताद इंद्रियाद. इंद्रिय मीन्स सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट, इंद्रिय मीन्स senses, इंद्रिय मीन्स सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट. So sense objects which are heard about or they have been seen. So drishta shruta refers to like some sense objects one may see in this world, right? One may see a man with a very great wealth or very great influence or a beautiful wife or like that. So that is called drishta indriyat, drishta indriyam. And then shruta is that which is heard about, right? One may have also heard about Indra and the opulence of Indra or Chandra and all that. So that is called shruta. So all such ideas which are heard about or which are seen in this world, ihaloka, paraloka, so he becomes completely detached. The devotee or the yogi who along with bhakti practices his path in this way, he becomes completely detached from that. Mad rachananu chintaya, by thinking about this world as my srishti, by seeing everything as Lord's creation and in connection with the Supreme Lord. Or this can also mean by seeing Krishna Leela, Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Mad Rachana here can also refer to Sri Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So constantly thinking about them, seeing that the world is actually Krishna's energy. So such a devotee or such a yogi, he becomes completely freed from the ideas of sense gratification, which are either seen in this world or which are heard about. uh, So in this way, chittasya yatto grahane yoga yukto. So that particular yogi or devotee who is endeavoring to control the chitta, chittasya grahane yatto, मतलब क्या है? He is endeavoring yatto, yatna, yatto, all these words, they show this aspect of effort. So he is endeavoring very much to control his mind by thinking about Lord's pastimes, by understanding this whole world as energy of the Lord. So such a person, yoga yukto yatishyate, such a person, he will continue to take efforts on this path of yoga. Rijabhir yoga margai, by this simple process of yoga. Rijabhi means very simple and happy. So that can refer to bhakti yoga, or it can also refer to bhakti mishra yoga, the yoga which is mixed with bhakti. So as I said, this verse can refer to yoga or it can refer also to bhakti. So don't get confused. Both the meanings are there in that. You can just take Prabhupada's meaning and go ahead this way. So Prabhupada says clearly this process of Krishna consciousness this way. The point is, yeah, by devotion, slowly then one becomes freed from all these ideas of sense gratification from the mind. So mad rachananu chintaya, that is a very important verse, that we should hear Krishna's pastimes. We should hear the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. You can see Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Shuddham bhaktim uktva yogamah. पिछले श्लोक में शुद्धा भक्ति बोली गई थी, इस श्लोक में योग बोला जा रहा है. So he says that this verse is talking about yoga. And mad rachna he translates as mal leela naam anuchintaya. Mal leela matlab meri leela, mat leela. So one is constantly thinking about my leela. Because yogis also think about Krishna leela and all. Yogis have to study shastras also. You know this? See, if the yogis have to do dharana on Krishna, how can those yogis be free from knowledge of the Lord, right? So they also have to study Shastras. They have to study the form of the Lord. How does Paramatma look like? In fact, every limb's description they have to know. They have to know pastimes pertaining to those limbs also. It will be all studied in chapter 28. So yogis are not like how they show in outside world, or how they show in some cartoons or like that. No, yogis are people who are also knowledgeable in Shastra. Same with jnanis also. They have to at least know. They may not be discussing elaborately like devotees, Shravanam Kirtanam, but then they study the Shastra. They are aware of Lord's form and transcendental attributes and all that. So that's why this verse also refers to words like yoga yukto, Rijibhir yoga margai. It shows that this verse refers to also the yogi. And such yogi is also, they think about Leela of the Lord, they read about the Leela of the Lord. So that's how we see that they practice their path of yoga. And because it is mixed with bhakti, so it gives them the perfection. Prabhupada, in all scriptures, people are encouraged to act in a pious way so that they can enjoy sense gratification not only in this life but also in the next. He's explaining that word drishta shruta. So in this world, sometimes you hear about and see some sense gratification, and you hear about it in the next life. But a devotee in the association of devotees prefers to contemplate the activities of the Lord. Mad rachna anuchintaya. How he has created this universe, how he is maintaining it, how the creation dissolves. Also, activities which are directly pastimes. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti's and Sridhar Swami's, both meanings Prabhupada has taken. Prabhupada is very expert. So, this meaning of mad rachna anuchintaya, meri rachna ke anuchintan se, तो वो रचना क्या है? So that, which Sridhar Swami says, that means creation, maintenance, destruction. So that meaning is from Sridhar Swami. But the spiritual kingdom's Leela, that meaning is from Vishwanath Chakravarti. Prabhupada has taken both. And he's explaining that a devotee, he not only studies Srishti Leela and all, but he is also very eager to hear about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, pastimes in spiritual world. There are full literatures describing these activities of the Lord, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita, Bhagavatam, and all of that. So in this way, this devotee is Madharachnanu Chintaya. One who is fixed in mystic power is not disturbed by the allurement of this world or that world. He is interested in the matters of spiritual understanding or the spiritual situation. So that's Rajubhir Yoga Margai. A very suitable word used here is Rijabhi, very easy. What's the easiest yoga? That's Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada says that this is speaking about Bhakti Yoga. Rujabhir Yoga Margai. Rujubhi means easy, easy to perform. Like Bhakti is glorified as Su Sukham Kartum Abhyayam, isn't it? So that aspect. So that way, it can also refer to Bhakti Yoga, the same verse, because these are common qualities. They are there in Bhakti Yogi also, isn't it? Asevayayam prakritir gunanam jnanena vairagya vijrambhitena yogena mayyarpita cha bhaktya yogena mayyarpitaya cha bhaktya mam pratyagatmanam iha varundhe. Yes, Prabhu.
Thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge and renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in the devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very life. For I am the Supreme Personality, the absolute truth.
Yeah, thank you. And then this verse is referring to jnana, bhakti mishra jnana, because the words like jnanena, they have come over here. Vairagya vijrambhitena. And especially this word has come. Asevaya yam prakriter gunanam. So by not rendering service to the three modes of material nature, meaning one actually becomes one stays away from the varnashrama duties, or one stays away from the karma aspect completely. Hmm. So either by path of Nishkam Karma Yoga in that way, or you can say by taking path of Jnana, where there is no connection to any karmic activities. Jnanena Vairagya Vijrambhitena. uh, and then by practicing Vairagya, which leads to Jnana, which leads to this understanding that I am not body, I am spirit, soul. This Jnana is also follow some yoga, limbs of yoga like Yama Niyama. And then also this bhakti aspect, because it is bhakti mishra yoga. So in this way, such a jnani, he pratyakatmanam iha varundhe. He holds avarundhe. He holds or stops me within his heart. Pratyakatmanam refers to Paramatma. So basically, it means that such a jnani, he is able to realize me within his heart. Or if it is bhakta, then it means that such a devotee, he achieves my association by becoming a premi bhakta, by holding the Lord within the heart. Ishvara sadhya varudhyate atra pratibhi shushrusubhis tatkshanat. This way. So the point is, yes, all these aspects of perfection have been talked over here. So fine, that's all. Lord Chaitanya approved the process of hearing from realized devotees about the pastimes of the Lord. It does not matter to what category of this world the audience belongs. If one meekly and submissively hears about activities of Lord, he will be able to conquer the personality of Godhead, who is unconquerable by any other process. Ye prayasho chitajitopyasitra istrilokyam. So Prabhupada speaks about especially this aspect of hearing over here, uh, hearing about the Supreme Lord. Mayyar Pityacha Bhaktya, or the last verse also said about Mad Rachnanu Chintaya. So Prabhupada says it all begins with that. That's the most important process. All right, so this completes the section. The next section will be uh, uh, the next section in which Devahuti asks three questions. So question 2, question 3, and question 4. So in that question 2 is about what is the Uchita Bhakti? That's this verse actually. Kachit Vai Uchita Bhakti. What is the appropriate form of devotion? What is the standard devotion? Uh, so then that section, the next section from verse 31 answers that. So let's take a break for Gayatri and then continue the discussion. So we will take a 10 minutes break and then reassemble, and then I can take some questions, and then we proceed to the next section. Today I will complete this chapter. This is what is my plan is. So I will stop after completing the chapter today. Yeah. So let's meet. It is 12:47. In 10 minutes we will meet after Gayatri break. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions on what we discussed?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Guruji, I wanted to understand this Prakrushta Rupena Sangha means, as you were discussing. So we see in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he used to discuss the past Katha of Prahlad and Dhruva with Gadadhar Pandit
Yeah.
in the daytime, and in the evening time he used to discuss intimate pastimes of Lord with Sarvada Damodar Goswami and who are Lalita and Vishaka. So Katha of the devotees of the Lord is also means that wanted to clarify कि Prakrushta Sangha, does it matter what we are discussing, or is it the advancement of the Vaishnavas which whom we are means discussing? Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, see, basically Prakrishta Sangha, the way Vishwan Chakravarti is explaining is in terms of effect, Prabhu. The effect that it causes. Now, what sort of discussions happen? Certainly the discussions in Vaishnava Sangha, good Vaishnava Sangha, will be from Bhagavatam. So whether those discussions are on Bhagavatam's first canto, second canto, or whether they are from 10th canto, that is fine. All that discussion, Bhagavatam is just wonderful. All the topics of Bhagavatam, they are wonderful, no doubt. The point here is, okay, if the opportunity to hear from advanced soul is there, Shastra says one should just grab it, no doubt about it. If we have opportunity to hear from advanced soul, Nivritta Tarshaya Rupagiya Mana, in that verse's expansion, Jiva Goswami says that best is to hear Krishna Katha from those who are free from all material hankerings, those who are liberated themselves, those who are pure devotees. And that is like topmost. It will have great impact. Like how Prabhupada was like that, right? Even if he spoke very simple words, we see such an impact because, yeah, he is a pure devotee of Krishna, and his words were so powerful that way. So that sort of association, if the opportunity is there, we are very eager to take. But here, that Prakrishta Sangha is not necessarily talking about only hearing from advanced soul, but it's talking in terms of what the effect it should cause. So the effect is anartha nivartika katha bhavanti. It should lead to the freedom from the anarthas in the heart. And that he is connecting to kathas which are full of potency of Krishna. So even if they are happening within the sincere sadhakas, where another advanced devotee who is better than us is speaking on those, and the principles are pure, the principles are talking about a very solid foundational, like foundation of Krishna consciousness. It is talking about Krishna's pure glorifications. So then this sort of kathas will be impactful, no doubt. But Krishna Katha, one rule is there. To the degree the person is advanced, to that degree hearing from him will be impactful. So this is a clear principle, no doubt about it. Yes.
Guruji, Asha,
Yes.
just this thing like you told about the effect will be like bhajan kriya, and then if intensely done, then anartha. So I just wanted to understand this. We hear about the stages. So when we talk about bhajan kriya stage and anartha stage, so generally in bhajan kriya, one is engaging in the Shravan Kirtan and process of devotional service. And in so is it like that ki one may be engaging, but anartha nivritti is not so much happening as it actually happens in the first stage of anartha nivritti, in the bhajan kriya stage? Because you said that ki effect will be only bhajan kriya, not anartha nivritti, that level.
See, when somebody is doing bhajan kriya, some effect will happen always. Naturally, it is not possible that nothing is happening. No. But yeah, the desired effect of bhakti, where one is getting rid of anarthas quickly and one is feeling great nourishment in terms of added attraction, additional attraction for Krishna's Nam Rup Guna Leela Seva. So that kind of effect may not be happening. So bhajan kriya, like once one begins bhajan kriya, the bhajan kriya, that factor will just continuously be there, right? All the way up to prema now it will continue. So on every stage bhajan kriya is there only. It's just that the initial bhajan kriya, that is the anishthit bhajan kriya. So if at that level of anishthit bhajan kriya, if we don't have a good sangha, so then that bhajan kriya, which is anishthit only, no doubt, but it will not be much impactful. It will not make much impact taking us towards or bringing about the desired effect of anartha nivritti. So anartha nivritti is beginning as soon as bhajan kriya is starting, no doubt about it. But yeah, with what impact? Is it really working very wonderfully? Or is it just that, like Vishwan Chakravarti's usage of bhajan kriya matram is in the sense of not much significant anartha nivritti is happening. It should happen nicely. It should happen in a certain pace, but that is not happening. So in that way. So yes, Prabhu, bhajan kriya, to the degree that we take good association and have good katha, we see that our heart will start us very much, you can say, pinching that why so much contamination I have kept in my heart. I have to get rid of this. These are the anarthas. So unless or until within our heart also that kind of goading is there, that kind of pinching is there, that I have to become pure, we will not even try for it. If we think like everything is fine, that sort of thing, then we will not even endeavor for it. So what happens in Prakrishta Sangha, that kind of feeling where we see our contamination and where we feel the need of improving, and then where we also take the steps for improving, that will become a powerful effect. So those sort of kathas are very much appreciated. Like that.
Yes, Guruji. And in this case, Guruji, it depends on the individual listener also, very much, and also from whom he is listening.
Absolutely.
Both things. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes. That factor will also be there always. Yes. That somebody may be getting also very good sangha, but what to do if like you may pour a lot of water on a stone, but with the stone, I know, though nothing is happening. So that's also there, no doubt. All right, thank you.
Krishna Prabhu. Uh, in last class, I could not ask question because of I don't know this question is I am rightly putting it out now. That you are saying that in devotional service, Shravanam is very vital important. So I had some conception about that shloka where it says Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prajita Janayati Asu Vairagya Jnanam Chayat Hetuka. So the Janayati, exactly what there means Bhakti by Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya arises. Or other shloka somewhere it says that Yasya Deve Para Bhakti Yatha Dev Tatha Tasya Te Katadaya Artha Prakashante Mahatmana. So I was thinking out some incident that Guru Maharaj was instructed by Narad Muni about practicing devotional mantra and dhyan and this. Then we hear that Lord appeared and stood conch on his head and then all he could offer his prayers. So in some villages, I know someone, Mataji is in village, she is serving deities and she is chanting names, not on beats, but she is strictly following, doing anything. So by that devotion only will arise or what is exactly what that I want to understand.
All right, all
I'm a little
right.
confused about.
Yeah, see, each one of these verses, no, they have a very analytical understanding in them. They have to be understood nicely, each one of them. वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योगा प्रयोजितः जनयत्याशु वैराग्यम ज्ञानम च यद्धेतुकम्. What does this verse mean? So it means about, first and foremost, it says that when the bhakti yoga is rendered unto Vasudeva, prayojitah, unto the feet of Lord Vasudeva. So now Jiva Goswami says, as soon as we say bhakti yoga is to be rendered unto the feet of Vasudeva, so he says bhakti yoga means it should have the limbs of Shravanam Kirtanam. So it rendering unto Vasudeva means itself that we have to begin with Shravanam Kirtanam. So, but what happens when you are doing Shravanam Kirtanam and all that, whether we see the effect of that Shravanam Kirtanam in terms of that one is becoming free from bodily attachment, and one is becoming more coming on the spiritual platform. That is called jnanam. Jnanam, see, you have to understand the word jnanam means what? Jnanam means actually this aspect that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul. This realization, this understanding and this realization, that is called jnanam. So in order for that to come in bhakti, bhakti has its own process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam and all that. If you do that, then that understanding and that platform will come. Automatically it will come. You will not have to study Vedanta. You don't have to, practice jnana. Like I was telling you, right? Jnanis have their own procedures. So without following those procedures, you will start getting the knowledge of this aspect that I am not the body, I am spirit soul. And it doesn't mean that you don't hear Bhagavatam and still all knowledge will come to you. That's not the meaning of that verse. As soon as you say Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Bhakti Yog वासुदेव के चरणों पे करने पर, तो वासुदेव के चरणों में भक्ति योग करना यानी क्या है? What is it? That means you have to follow 9 limbs of devotional service. So if you are not going to do Shravanam Kirtanam in that, why should that knowledge come? So I'm not saying, see, sometimes some examples are there like South Indian Brahmana and all that. So they are to drive home a certain point that bhakti process is so great that even one limb of bhakti sometimes can give you complete realization, ekanga bhakti. But there is still a standard cultivation of bhakti. We should not make some exceptions into some standard process. No. Standard process of bhakti is you do very nice Shravanam, you study Shastra, you understand Shastra nicely, you understand the process nicely. This is a standard vidhi. If somebody just not qualified for that, so for that person, okay, you just chant, no problem. That chanting also may give that person complete knowledge, may or may not. It depends on the Lord. Even if somebody in a village may be chanting, Hare Krishna, and it can bestow perfection, but does that make that person qualified to sit on Vyasasana and explain entire Bhagavatam Siddhanta? It may not happen, not necessary. The person may not be qualified to explain the subtleties of Siddhanta, the challenges in preaching. So she may be chanting very nicely, and Krishna may bestow all aspects, but it's not necessary that all the knowledge of Shastra will come in her heart. It may or may not, I am saying that only. But this whole idea that by chanting everything will come and you don't have to hear anything, you don't have to read anything, that is not right. And this idea is not spoken anywhere in Shastra like that. None of our acharyas speak like that. So the idea is that we follow the wholesome process of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all these limbs of bhakti, especially the first 3 limbs, especially that the first 2 limbs, Shravanam and Kirtanam, these are like extremely important. Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, they say constantly that if these limbs are not followed now, one will have extreme levels of misconceptions in bhakti. And by that, then the advancement becomes very, very difficult. So what to do if person is not qualified only to understand these things? No problem. Let them chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna will give whatever he thinks appropriate, that much knowledge, that much detachment Krishna will give. So it's a true principle, it's a right principle that practice of even one limb of bhakti can bestow everything. It is possible. It's not a wrong principle. But when you follow the process, when you cultivate a systematic cultivation of bhakti, then we go by the process. Then we very much stress the knowledge aspect. We very much stress the understanding properly, understanding the motivation in bhakti, what are the various mixtures in bhakti. Those subtle thoughts will make our mind very clear of what is what, this way. So that verse is saying, if you follow 9 limbs of devotional service, this innate realization that I am not body, I am spirit, soul, that will come. That is called jnanam. And vairagyam means that you don't have to practice jnanis vairagya practices. Like I told you, jnanis, they put this panchagni tapa, or they submerge themselves in that gomukha and say to themselves, I am not body, I am not body, I am not body. They want to become free from, they become so oblivious to bodily torture by torturing the body. And the whole purpose is to realize that actually I am not this body. So they take such means to come to that sort of conclusion. So to develop jnana or to develop vairagya from sense objects, they will see dead bodies and see the temporary nature of the material world and think that is this body is what you are desiring to enjoy. So all this sort of extraneous practices of vairagya and knowledge we don't have to do. What we have to do is we have to do shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam, vandanam, and it will in turn give the same, not same, even greater realization than jnanis and yogis for a devotee. That's the meaning of that verse. The verse is never saying that you don't have to read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam and still everything will be revealed to you. That would be then not following Bhakti Yoga only. How is it then वासुदेवे भगवती भक्ति योगा प्रयोजिता? वो कैसा भक्ति योग है जिसमें श्रवणम कीर्तनम ही नहीं है? वो तो प्रॉब्लम हो गया उसमें. So that's how it is, Prabhu. That's the understanding. Even the verse that you quoted, Yasya Deve Parabhaktir, scrutinizingly, if you study that verse, it says, Tasya ete kathita hi artha. For the person who has Yasya Deve Parabhakti, for the person who has Parabhakti, transcendental devotion, in Deve, in the Supreme Lord, Tatha Guru, in the Guru, for such a person, what happens? Tasyate kathita hi artha. For this person, the meanings of Shastra, which are kathita, which are spoken by his spiritual master, they become they are automatically revealed in the heart. So the point is, it's not just artha, the meanings of Shastra become automatically revealed. The meanings of Shastra that are kathita, that are spoken to him by spiritual master, meaning he is hearing from spiritual master. If he is not hearing from spiritual master, then that kathita word would not have been there. For where from the meanings will come, just like that. They can come if it is, if Holy Name wants to bestow, what can not happen? Agreed. But is that the process usually? Process is not that. The process is you follow this aspect of understanding scrutinizingly, whatever our intelligence goes. That's why the point is what? Kathita hi arthat, all those meanings which are spoken by spiritual master will be revealed to him. Means what? That knowledge will not remain theoretical. He will actually understand that knowledge. If you don't have that implicit devotion, parabhakti, then what will happen? Even if spiritual master is speaking, nothing will enter into your heart. फिर वो प्रकाशनते नहीं होगा, उसका प्रकाश नहीं होगा, बस वो कथित अर्थ रह गए. They are only meanings which are spoken to him. So it's like water that has fallen on the stone, nothing. But when one has implicit devotion, then all that he is hearing from spiritual master will be revealed within his heart, meaning those meanings will become manifested within his heart. It's not a theoretical knowledge. You see that he is getting realization. He accepts that knowledge within his heart. Yes, this is perfect. I understand. And I realize this. So same aspect is there in Vasudeva Bhagavati. Jnanam and Vairagyam is more about realization aspect. It's not necessarily the information that is there. So that's why there are devotees, right? We see that even in Lord Chaitanya's times, there were devotees who were great pure devotees. Uh, but when they heard that poet who had come from, I think, where he was from Puri or something, and he said Jagannath is the Jad Jagannath and Jangam Jagannath. And see, who are hearing and doing Vahava are the pure devotees there. Huh? So what is happening there? Although they are pure devotees, why can't they detect that contamination? Because bhakti may be, in such a way that they have pure devotion for Krishna, but not necessarily they are expert people in the knowledge and Siddhantic aspects. So that's why what is Jiva Goswami says that what is important is also those who are preachers of Krishna consciousness, or those who are guiding others in bhakti. At least those people have to know things very well. Otherwise they will not be able to guide people. There will be a lot of misconceptions like that and all. So purity is one aspect, Prabhu. Along with purity, whether Krishna gives a comprehensive understanding of Siddhanta or not, that may depend. It depends upon Krishna, it depends upon. But we do it as a cultivation. That's how the Vaidhi Bhakti is. Vaidhi Bhakti means we cultivate to gain that knowledge, and we also cultivate to increase the faith. So all these verses that you have, they each one of them has a proper understanding that has to be understood. Bhakti is full of the process of Shravanam Kirtanam. So as I said, part of that Shravanam is also reading, because if you want to do Shravanam of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, it is not possible, right? You have to read it. Uh, if you want to even do Shravanam of Prabhupada, how much Shravanam is there and how much he has written? If you read his books, then you are actually getting so much access to his wisdom. Hearing also it is there, but limited. Not much is there, right? So that's why both the aspects are important. They are not so much distinguished in Shastra, although there are pros and cons of both the processes. So, all right, Prabhu, makes sense to you?
Much Prabhuji. It's quite clear. Yes, almost clear, Prabhuji. Means, in essence, I take that means there can be an exception, but this is not a normal way.
This is not the
Yes.
usual way. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, we hear the story of South Indian Brahmana. So you understand the thrust there. The thrust there is that you have to practice process of bhakti with unflinching faith in Guru. That's the thrust. It does not mean that everybody should remain illiterate like South Indian Brahmana, that he cannot read also. Is that the thrust there? It's not the thrust. But everybody should have that unflinching faith. And with that unflinching faith, you study Shastra also. That's the point. Then you will be a very good example for yourself, and you can guide people also. You will be a good preacher. You can remove people's misconceptions also. So we appreciate all devotees. We appreciate even simple devotees like what you mentioned, that Mata. So everybody is appreciated in bhakti. But still, certain services demand a certain kind of skill set also. And especially the aspect of knowledge is something which Jiva Goswami says, as practitioner of Vaidhi Bhakti, it is mandatory. You have to have that aspect, right? यत्र रागावना अनवाप्तत्वात् प्रवृत्ति रूपजायते शासने नैव शास्त्रस्य सा वैधि भक्ति रुच्यते। वैधि भक्ति की परिभाषा ही है कि वेर द डिजायर टू सर्व कृष्णा प्रवृत्ति is not because of raga. It's not that we all have spontaneous attachment and running to serve Krishna. No. So where from inspiration to serve Krishna is coming in Vaidhi Bhakti? And this is Vaidhi Bhakti's definition I am telling from Rupa Goswami. यत्र राग अनवाप्तत्वाद, जहां पे राग प्राप्त नहीं हुआ है तो भी प्रवृत्ति रूप जायते, स्टिल देर इज एन इंस्पिरेशन टू सर्व कृष्णा. वेयर फ्रॉम? शासने नैव शास्त्रस्य. It is coming because of hearing the message of Shastra. That bhakti is known as Vaidhi Bhakti. So imagine if he is not reading or hearing message of Shastra only, तो वो वैधि भक्ति है कि क्या है, वो कौन सी भक्ति? This way. So by definition it's like that, that way. Once somebody develops raga, then he is not interested in reading, hearing Shastra. We will say ठीक है, चलेगा, वो तो चला गया परे. But even at that stage they are interested. It is mentioned they are very happy to hear Bhagavatam and all, but there is no need there, in the sense that expectation goes away. There the शास्त्रादि अपेक्षा न वर्तते. वहां पे शास्त्र के अपेक्षा नहीं है. वो लोगों ने वो, they became now spontaneously attached. Now they can just go on this way. But still they will study Shastra. Still Goswamis, we say that they would discuss so much Bhagavatam and all that. All right. Important question. Thank you. Yes. Let's go ahead then, if nothing further. This is an important last section of this. Yes, bro, quick.
Just one quick one. So rightly wanted to confirm that something and doing one on particularly is not enough for our level, and we have to do
It is,
hearing and all
no,
other
no.
things.
No. Voice is so much breaking that it's difficult to understand.
Oh, okay. It's clear now, Broji. Still problem.
Little bit clear. Go ahead.
So just want to just confirm that whether I understood rightly. That only one anga of bhakti is not enough at least our stage. We need to do all the angas properly, and so if we continue hearing from spiritual master regularly along with doing all other sadhana activities, then it should be enough for us. That's what you meant to say, right?
Yeah. Yes. See, what I was saying was, in practice of bhakti, basically the process is consisting of 9 limbs, but I was saying that especially the first 2 limbs, they have to be mandatorily there. They become foundation for any other limb also to practice. First 3 are foundational, and as I said, smaranam is little bit for advanced devotees. So first 2 are just like fundamental. They have to be practiced by everyone. This is the point. Now rest of the limbs of bhakti depends on certain service also. Sometimes we like archanam is there, so we may not still have archanam seva or like that. But I was talking especially about first 2 limbs. They are like foundational. They have to be there, no doubt. And if you are hearing from Guru, is that enough? Yes, it is enough. That's what I'm saying. Shravanam. But the point is that we take that effort to do a systematic Shravanam. We are hearing from Guru, then okay, we take effort at least that we are hearing from Guru on all the systematic, orderly manner, what all Guru has spoken. So that effort has to be systematic. That's all. That's why this whole set of scriptures are given. Why they are given? Because Acharya just want to make sure that it is a systematic effort. It's not a, you can say, sort of wishy-washy hearing. It's not a wishy-washy hearing. आज बहुत मजा आ रहा है, 4 घंटा सुन लिया, दूसरे दिन कुछ भी नहीं. Not like that. And also you hear the topics in a systematic manner. One hears entire Bhagavad Gita nicely. Prabhupada has given this first 4 books actually. If one studies them nicely, then we see that most of the concepts, fundamental concepts, become very clear. Then one goes to Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and studies these books systematically. So you can hear from spiritual master, you can hear from other sadhus, but make sure that it is a systematic hearing. It's not a, if your Siddhantic knowledge is not becoming very clear, then misconceptions will continue. So if somebody is not so much into reading, that is okay, provided the hearing that is extremely systematic. It is not, it's not, yeah, wishy-washy. That's all. It's not.
Yes,
Okay, bro.
Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Very well. Okay, so second section, Devahuti's 3 questions will be there now, out of which 1 will be answered. So this is second question now. Devahuti Ruvacha, Kachit Tvayuchita Bhakti, Kidrishi Mama Gochara, Yaya Padam Te Nirvanam, Anjasan Vaishnava Aham. Okay, anybody who has not read till now and wants to read? Because sometimes I am not able to see all, who all are there. Okay, anyone, please read.
Or shall I read?
Yeah.
On hearing the statement of the Lord, Devahuti inquired, "What kind of devotional service is worth developing and practicing to help me easily and immediately attain the service of your lotus feet?"
Yes, thank you. Devahuti Ruvacha, Devahuti spoke. Kachit Tvai Uchita Bhakti. So this is the question. Tvai means unto you. Kachit, what sort of? Uchita Bhakti. Appropriate devotion. How does Prabhupada translate? Uchita? Proper. Yes, Prabhupada also translates proper. What is that proper bhakti? Meaning, in the name of bhakti, so many things may be going on, right? So, what is the proper or appropriate form of devotion, my lord? Devahuti is asking to her son Kapila. Kidrishi, what is the nature of that bhakti? Can you explain that bhakti to me? Mama Gochara, and how can a simple person like me also can understand it? Please speak it in a way that even somebody like me, a woman, I can understand also. Of course, she is not an ordinary woman. She is most qualified in all respects, right? She is exalted. But because of her natural humility, she is saying, Mama Gochara, Kidrishi Mama Gochara. Please tell me that appropriate form of devotional service which is to be rendered, and please speak it in a way that it is understandable even for me. Jaya padam te nirvanam anjasan vaishnavaham. By that bhakti, I will be able to achieve your lotus feet. And those lotus feet are said to be nirvanam. Nirvanam. I achieve those lotus feet anjasa by very ease. With very simply, I can achieve immediately and easily. I can achieve those like that. So the word nirvana has been used, but the word nirvana need not mean something like impersonal liberation or like that. You can see nirvanam. Acharyas say it means nirvritti swarupa, nirvritti. And nirvana literally means a great bliss actually. Nirvana, one of the meaning is great bliss. You can see he is quoting Medini dictionary, and Medini dictionary says nirvanam means nirvritti. Nirvritti means a great happiness or a great delight. So what is actually nirvanam? Nirvanam means Lord's abode or Lord's lotus feet, which are full of joy for the devotee, for the all the worshippers. Jaya padam te nirvanam. So please speak that bhakti by which I will be able to easily understand it and achieve your lotus feet. I can achieve, yes, your lotus feet. That's it. She wants to know that. Okay, that's all you want to know. Anything more? Yes, something more also. Yo yogo bhagavad bano nirvanatmanstayoditaha kidrisha kati changani yatastattvavabodhanam. Yes.
The mystic yoga system, as you have explained, aims at the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is meant for completely ending material existence. Please let me know the nature of that yoga system. How many ways are there by which one can understand in truth that sublime yoga?
Yeah. And she wants to know also the yoga. And yoga process, she says, is like Bhagavad Bana. Bhagavad Bana. That process of yoga is like an arrow which hits the target known as Bhagavan. Of course, somebody may feel like why it is being said. We don't want to hit the arrow to the Lord. So you can understand the sense is that the process of yoga would actually make us reach Bhagavan, reach the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is being said as Bhagavad Bana. Bhagavad Bana means that arrow will take us to the Supreme Lord. It will help us to attain the Supreme Lord. So that's the meaning of that. Kidrishaha Kati Changani. So what's the, how is that process of yoga? Kati Changani. How many angas are there, limbs are there in that process of yoga? And also she's asking Yataha Tatvava Bodhanam. Please describe that path by which I can also understand various tattvas, various elements in the material world. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says, by this Yataha Tattvava Bodhanam, Mother Devahuti is asking about Jnana process. And by this line, she is asking about the yoga process. So she is asking yoga, she is also asking Jnana. तत्वावबोधनम, तत्वों का अवबोधन तो सांख्य प्रोसेस में होता है ना, 25 तत्व, 24 तत्व, 26 तत्व, 28 तत्व. So this is all there in the Sankhya process. So that's why this refers to Jnana process. And this is obviously yoga. One word that is used for Lord is Nirvan Atman. Nirvan ke Atma ho aap. Embodiment of Nirvana. So you can see Lord is being called as Nirvana Atman. So previously here the word Nirvana came. So even if somebody takes some meaning like impersonal liberation, immediately in the next verse, Mother Devahuti is saying, "Oh Lord, you are actually the life and soul of Nirvana. Nirvana Atma, matlab Nirvana cannot survive without you." So Krishna and his bodily effulgence, that remains the basis of impersonal Brahman, no? So that's why Nirvana Atman. Even if one takes that meaning of Nirvana as some moksha, but point is, Lord remains the basis of that moksha. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyasya. Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita. So in that sense, that word has been used. Okay. The word Nirvana Atman is very significant, Prabhupada. Unless one accepts the process of devotional service, one cannot end the continuation of material existence. As far as Jnanis are concerned, they are interested in Jnana Yoga. But even if one elevates oneself after a great performance of austerity to the Brahman effulgence, there is a chance of falling down again to the material world. So Nirvana Atman means that only by Krishna's mercy, first of all, you can achieve that Nirvana, whatever you understand by Nirvana. If Brahmavadi says Nirvana means merging in Brahman, well, whatever, you cannot attain without devotional service. And if Nirvana means Lord's lotus feet full of joy, so then anyway, that is impossible without Lord's mercy, without Lord's permission. So the point is, Lord is Nirvana Atman. Atma samajhte aap soul or life of Nirvana. That's how he is being addressed. Prabhupada here speaks about, yeah, how in Brahma Jyoti, even if somebody achieves, there may be a chance of falling down. So that's also another question of discussion oftentimes, whether somebody falls from Brahma Jyoti or not. So Prabhupada's clear-cut opinion on that matter is, yes, somebody who attains Brahma Jyoti effulgence by going out of this world, it is possible that such a person can fall. Sometimes he says there is a possibility of falling down. Sometimes he says such a person will fall down. Not can fall down, but he will fall down this way. So anyhow, the point is, it is not a destination which is aspired for Vaishnavas. So whether somebody goes there and falls from there, or as other acharyas say, that once somebody achieves Brahman, then one will never fall from there. Whether sometimes you may see some sort of difference of opinion is there, and that's Shastra. And we can just accept and keep that difference of opinion as it is. We don't have to so much argue on it, as long as it is not a very critical factor of our practice. So Brahman effulgence, it is anyway not a destination aspired from by a devotee. So that's why whether that destination is permanent or whether that destination is not permanent is also not a very important discussion. It's okay. Sometimes Prabhupada has surely in 10, 15 places he has made statements like somebody goes to Brahman, then he falls down. Usually Shastras don't speak like that. They don't have any verses like that, but it is a particular yes, Siddhant or concept that Prabhupada speaks about. But as I said, it's not a very relevant discussion for devotees. So that's all. Bana means arrow. The Bhakti Yoga system is just like an arrow, aiming up to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada says Bhakti Yoga. The word has been used for yoga, but yeah, Bhakti Yoga is also Bhagavad Bana. So he says, yeah, Bhakti Yoga is best Bhagavad Bana process. So in that sense, he is using it for bhakti. As I said, you have to know his mood. Oftentimes he uses the terms for Bhakti Yoga primarily that way, although they can sometimes refer to other paths also. तने तन्मे विजानीहि यथाहं मंदधीर हरे सुखम बुद्ध्येय दुर्बोधम योषा भवदनुग्रहात्.
My dear son Kapila, after all, I am a woman. It is very difficult for me to understand the absolute truth because my intelligence is not very great. But if you will kindly explain it to me, even though I am not very intelligent, I can understand it and thereby feel transcendental happiness.
Yes. So please speak it to me. Vijanihi. Yathaham mandadhi. I am actually a mandadhi. I am not very intelligent. I am a dullard, dull person. But still, please speak in a way that sukham buddhyeya durbodham. Although what you are going to speak is going to be not easy to understand, it will be very difficult. But still, I can understand easily. Please speak it in a way, because what is impossible for you, my Lord, you can speak in a way that even a woman like me, Yosha, Yosha means a woman, Bhavad Anugrahat, by your mercy, even a woman like me can also understand. So please speak it in that way. She is saying like that. So although we understand Devahuti is very qualified this way. So her desire to know yoga and jnana, we had discussed before also, this aspect is because she wants to also know the Siddhant of the Parapaksha or Siddhant of the Vipaksha, Paramata. See, this was the term that I had, this was the sentence that I had quoted before. Jidnyasuna nijamatam jneyam paramatam budhaihi. जिज्ञासु लोगों के द्वारा तो अपना मत जानना ही चाहिए उनको, लेकिन Budhaihi, the intelligent people should also know the opinion of other paths. Vishwanath Chakravarti is quoting this. That's why she is asking for yoga, jnana, and this aspect also. Although she is not going to practice this yoga, jnana, she is interested in bhakti only. But still, inquisitive person will know about his own siddhanta. But an intelligent person will know about other man's or other party's siddhanta also. So Jidnyasu and Buddha, inquisitive and intelligent. So inquisitive is placed at a level where he is only interested in his own siddhanta. So it is placed at a lower level here. Buddha is placed at a higher level. Somebody who is intelligent that. And as I said, we don't have to run behind those paths. We can just learn that much which is mentioned in Bhagavatam. That itself will be very great. We don't have to go and study Shardarshanas from those books and all. If we study Bhagavatam nicely, we will know those concepts. Maitreya Uvacha Viditvartham Kapilo Maturitham Jata Sneho Yatra Tanvabhijata Tattvamnayam Yat Pravadanti Sankhyam Provacha Vaibhakti Vitana Yogam. Yes.
Sri Maitreya said, after hearing the statement of his mother, Kapila could understand her purpose, and he became compassionate towards her because of being born of her body. He described the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is a combination of devotional service and mystic realization, as received by disciplic succession.
Yes, thank you. So when Kapila, he heard these words of his mother and understood what she wants to know, Jata Sneho, he became extremely affectionate. I mean, he was already affectionate, but by her questions and by her humility, he became extremely affectionate towards her. And obviously, Yatra Tanvabhi Jata, he is born from her, so he is her son. So he naturally has a great love for Mother Devahuti. So he spoke Tattvam Nayam Yat Pravadanti Sankhyam. He spoke this philosophy called as Sankhya, Sankhya Tattva. Hmm. He spoke it, Bhakti Vitana Yogam, in which there is obviously description of bhakti and yoga also. This Sankhya is not devoid of bhakti or yoga. So we talked about this other day also. This Sankhya is actually Vedanta only. Sankhya. So this has Sambandha, Videya, Prayojan, all the discussion is there. So the devotional Sankhya, the Kapila's Sankhya, this Ishvaravadi Sankhya that Kapila has spoken, or Bhagavat Sankhya, you could say. This Bhagavat Sankhya is knowledge of bhakti, yoga, and Sankhya itself, which is jnana. All this is there in that. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Devanam Gunalinganam Anushravika Karmanam Sattva Evaika Manaso Vritti Svabhaviki Tuya Animitta Bhagavati Bhakti Siddhe Gariyasi.
Lord Kapila said, the senses are symbolic representations of the demigods, and their natural inclination is to work under the direction of the Vedic injunctions. As the senses are representatives of the demigods, so the mind is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mind's natural duty is to serve. When that service spirit is engaged in devotional service to the Personality of Godhead without any motive, that is far better even than salvation.
Okay, fine. So please note now, Mother Devahuti had asked 3 questions, right? She first of all she asked first question in that first section of the chapter 25. That was about mokshopaya. That was about means of deliverance. That is answered. That was answered till text 25, 27. So now she has asked another 3 questions. She wants to know about appropriate or proper devotional service. She wants to know about yoga. She wants to know about jnana. So now we see that the second question will be answered about the appropriate or proper form of devotion. Yoga and jnana will be answered in further chapters. Chapter 26, 27 will answer jnana, and chapter 28 will answer yoga. So in this way, keep the track of questions of Devahuti also. This is second question being answered now. All right. So first he gives the, you can say, what is the appropriate form of devotional service? What is the definition? This verse is also used as the definition of Nirguna Bhakti. This verse and another verse in 29th chapter also. So what is this verse speaking? This is a direct answer to the question, Uchita Bhakti kya hai? Uchit Bhakti kya hai? So this is the Uchit Bhakti, Krishna is saying, Kapila is saying here, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. And it's a very important verse. So hear carefully and note the meanings of various words in it. I will go little bit in detail for this verse. So you say, he is saying, what is that Uchita Bhakti? Let me define it. So he says, Satve Ekamanasah Vritti. The vritti or inclination, the inclination, single-minded inclination in sattva, towards the sattva. Single-minded, completely focused inclination in the sattva, that is called as bhakti. So now you may say, what is sattva? So sattva is Shuddha Sattva Murti, Lord Vishnu. So single-minded inclination to serve, to please Lord Vishnu or Krishna, Rama, that is known as bhakti. We will add one verse and that will give a full understanding. I am taking you to the words of the verse, how the verse has been spoken. So vritti, yani inclination, desire or inclination more. Vritti is basically practical functions. Eka manasah vritti. It is not distracted. Single-minded inclination to serve whom? Sattva. Sattve. This original word in verse is sattve. सत्वे एव एक मनसः वृत्ति. भगवान विष्णु में ही एक मन से सेवा करने की प्रवृत्ति या वृत्ति. So that vritti or the inclination of what? The inclination of the senses. The inclination of the senses. See, it is being defined in that manner of Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. So the tendency or the inclination of the senses, what is that word that has been used for senses? Devanam Gunalinganam. किनकी वृत्ति? इंद्रियों की वृत्ति. अच्छा, वो इंद्रिया कहाँ पे आए हैं इधर? Devanam Gunalinganam. So it is a very interesting usage. What has, see, devatas, because of devatas, we are able to perceive the sense objects. Like our eyes are there, right? So for eyes, you have to have, first of all, the netra has to be there. The external eye has to be there. Then there is one internal eye, chakshu, that is part of our subtle body. So that chakshu also has to be there. So chakshu and netra both have to be there. But along with that, there is a devata which controls the eyes. He also has to approve. That devata is sun, Surya. So unless until you have that Surya's mercy, you will not be able to see. But is that Surya independent in offering that mercy or offering that privilege? No. Over him is Paramatma. who is actually controlling even the Surya. Surya has been given that department. Or similarly, mind is controlled by moon. Hands are controlled by Indra, like that, all other. So Devanam Gunalinganam, this word means that those senses whom the sense objects are revealed by the Devas. That's the meaning there. Devanam Gunalinganam. जिन देव जो इंद्रियां वो है उन इंद्रियों की वृत्ति जो इंद्रियां देवताओं के द्वारा विषय वस्तु देख पाते हैं. Gunalinganam. Guna here means the sense objects. Linga means to indicate or to show. So the senses have been spoken by Kapila as these senses are the ones where by the mercy of the devatas or by help of the devatas one is able to perceive the sense objects. So he is speaking that aspect that basically this is the tendency of the senses. This bhakti is the tendency of the senses. So while speaking that, he could have just said Indriyanam also. But instead of saying Indriyanam, he is involving also the Devatas. Devanam Gunalinganam. The senses to which the sense objects are revealed by the Devatas. That way. So one may wonder, why is he bringing in Devatas here? He could have just said Indriyanam, Indriyon ki wo vritti. No, why is he bringing? Because this particular tendency to serve the Lord, inclination to serve the Lord, it is also there in the Devatas, right? It is there, maybe not in pure, like it's not a pure sort of inclination there in their case, oftentimes. But many of them are also exalted devotees, right? Like Brahmaji is there, he's exalted. Shiva is, he is none other than the Lord himself. Shivaji is Lord himself. But there are devotees, even amongst the devatas, we see that who are great devotees of the Lord. So that aspect that they reveal the sense objects to the senses, that has been spoken by using that usage. But finally, you just understand all this Devanam, Gunalinganam has been used for the purpose of talking about senses, the senses. So the tendency or inclination of the senses with a single-minded desire to serve Vishnu or Krishna. And that vritti is said to be animitta. It is free from any nimitta. It is free from desire for dharma, artha, kama or moksha. It is free from selfish desire. Try to connect this definition with anyabhilashita shunyam. This is a very beautiful description of bhakti. Based on such verses only, Rupa Goswami came up with such a nice definition of bhakti in Bhakti Samvit Sindhu. Animitta, this bhakti has to be completely free from any selfish desire. How Prabhupada translates? Yes, without motive, unmotivated. Acha,